Peace. Okay, so welcome back to me working on my car. It's been a while. I really haven't been talking, I've kind of just been working, but I'm barely scratching the surface. So I already have both fender liners off, I have the front bumper off, and what I'm doing in this episode is kind of just a front end refresh. So as you saw, my fender liners were roached, my front lip is cracked right in the middle, and I no longer have the Riger on. It's back there. And the reason for that is I hit a rock, bent the shit out of my wheel, somehow got home. I drove like 5 miles back here, got the car up, took the wheel off, and as I'm pulling into this driveway, I just ripped my front lip off because the tire basically had no air in it. I was so low, ripped my front lip off. So I'm not really gonna dive too deep into it, but I was out one night on some local roads I know very well, and too well to do a preemptive run to check if the road is clear. Usually there's nothing on there, no debris or anything, but this was a surprise to me, but unfortunately I did hit the rock pretty hard. So I have a video of it. I was kind of just testing out some new GoPro angles, and I wasn't necessarily filming a YouTube video or anything. I just wanted to see, you know, some good angles from the interior of the car, and the first run I had with the GoPro up, I hit it. So here's the video, and I'll explain some more after. So as you can see, it was a very, very, very nasty hit. Bent my wheel, unfortunately, way too much to be repairable. Somehow I got home on those stiff sidewalls from the E36's. It held air for the most part. Obviously the tire was not reusable either. And very, very, very thankfully, I had a fifth wheel. I had a spare TE, same spec, same color, same everything. So I got that mounted a while back. This happened back in July, and it's September now. So yeah, I haven't really talked about it or posted it anywhere, but I've talked to some people about it, and I know I've definitely learned from my mistakes. I was exercising my rights to the light bar, and I usually drive hard at night anyway, and you know, we don't really talk about animals or anything like that, kind of superstitious, but now I definitely go for some preemptive runs, make sure the roads are clear, and I'm a lot more careful these times around. So I'm not trying to lead by example here. Pretty much all I have to say is I'm very thankful they're real and they're strong, and it could have been a lot worse. So we're here. So yeah, now I'm doing new fender liners because it was long overdue. I'm also doing a Turner Motorsport front lip and under tray, and I'm very excited to get that mounted. It's A, chassis mounted, B, it's an under tray, so it'll keep a lot of the things clean, and C, it's basically a replica of the LTW front lip, but it's metal, it's a lot stronger, and it's adjustable. So I got the Riger kind of as a placeholder. I ordered one back in January to put a new one on when I did the whole refresh, but it never ended up coming in. It's been a whole thing. So anyway, front end refresh for this one for Audrain prep, like we did with Connor's car. Oh yeah, and the OEM front lip is cracked because after I ripped the Riger off, I was headed up to Cape Cod with a few friends, and Connor kicked up an 18-wheeler tire under his car, ripped his diffuser off, which is why we changed it in the previous video, and then it came up and hit my front bumper, knocked out my front grille, cracked my front lip, and it was all bad. So knew everything, and then once I'm done with the front end, I will be working my way back, and if you know, you know what's coming next. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll check in soon. So after a while, couldn't get it open. So I used this can back in April when I was painting everything, and it sealed itself shut pretty good. So managed to mingle it open just to get a good amount to dip on my finger and touch up that bare metal where I drilled. So alright, I'm gonna take a break from the fender liners because those are not making me happy. Paint is dry. I already got one in. Here's the method. Riv nut, long bolt, and a riv nut spacer tool, because I couldn't find an actual like riv nut clamp tool, so doing it the old-fashioned way. This is actually pretty easy. Just take this, put it into the hole that I drilled earlier, ratchet on the bolt, wrench to the spacer. As you tighten it down, the riv nut expands, creates a holder behind this wall. So it's like a rivet, but it has threads in it. Okay, it's tight. The bolt's out. And there is our riv nut. Okay, just a minor update. Under tray is back off. I need to throw the front bumper back on to then do the fender liners. So I took both of the fender liners out. The seal issue I was having with the passenger side, I don't know what was going on. I got the driver one in just fine with no hardware or anything. It sit very flush. So I'm gonna worry about that seal once I get the front bumper back on so it can fasten to everywhere it needs to before I start playing around with that seal. But for now, I gotta take my OEM front lip off and actually throw the Turner one on. Once that's on, I'll throw the front bumper back on. Look out for how bad this front lip is. Here is my OEM lip. Plural. All right, so that pretty much concludes it for the front end. Quick overview, I did both fender liners, brake ducts, and the whole Turner front under tray and lip assembly. So I'm very happy with the result. The fender liners really brought my bumper back together. My old liners were terrible. They were rubbed right through, all corroded. Most of the mounting points were shot, so very happy to have new ones finally. They're both fitting up really nicely now. The under tray also ties in the bottom of the fender liners to the bumper, so it's all one together unit now. So yeah, I think it's great, and that's step one for the Audrain prep. I hope you enjoyed the video. The next step for the car is for me to finally get started on the